piece of paper to keep notes so you try to win this good stuff. You're going to find it.
Morning, everybody. Welcome to Reiser's Treasure Hunting Emporium's live stream for the coin seminar weekend. And I tell you what, gang, hopefully everyone is in search of treasure this weekend, because that's right, gang, this is the weekend to find it. And we just want to go ahead and give everybody a good welcome. Hey, I see M.A. Lyman 24. Welcome. Fire Cajun. How are you? How are you? Ken Peavy. Hey, Ken. How are you? North Jersey Detector. How are you? Hey, Blockhead. How are you? How are you? Oh, there's Sandy Reiser. How are you? And Tim Holmes. How are you, Tim? And see who else we got. Hey, Joshua. How are you? Who's your hillbilly? How are you? Rivendell Coins. How are you? And we'll discover what that coin is yet. And see who else we got. Quasimo, how are you, Quasi? And Jonathan Raymond, how are you? And Ken's got everything good to go for this morning. I got coffee. Oh my God, I got coffee. And part-time detector, Amy, how are you? Hey, Jordan, how are you? And again, just welcome everybody, and anyone who I might have missed. Hey, Lenny, no, how are you? Oh, Metal Pirate Girl, how are you? And welcome, like I said, welcome again to Reiser's Treasure Hunting Emporium's live stream for the coin seminar weekend. It is going to be a great event, and so glad that you folks all stopped in. And anyone that I missed, again, like I say, hello and welcome, and put on your seatbelts, because we're gonna kind of fly. So anyway, gang. Here we go. Well, coin seminar weekend. Now, the premise of the coin seminar weekend was drummed up by the coin sultan himself, Ken Peavy, this guy. And I tell you what, you know this guy, the guy who hosts the big show, viewer-sponsored coin giveaway every Sunday at 9:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Well, this guy, he pitched the wonderful idea of a YouTube live stream coin community coin seminar weekend. That was a lot of coins. What a glorious idea. And I tell you what, gang, basically it is an organized event with live streams. And I tell you what, there are some great shows coming up. And I tell you, great content relevant to coins, currency, numismatic type of stuff. It's all here. And I tell you what, right after, as you can see here, we got the Cointelligence, who will be right after myself, coming on at 10. You got Shumar Coins at 12, Bill 457 at 1 o'clock, and then at 1:30, you got Coin Card and Hobbyist with a collaboration with Miss Paula. And I have to say, Miss Paula has done also a bang-up job with, I tell you, she was working a little bit behind the scenes with the giveaway, but more on that in a bit. And I tell you, after that, we got Ken himself at 3 o'clock, the Mantic Coins at 4. Now, I tell you what, there will be no normal Mantic Coins show for tonight, but that's okay. We'll get our gambling fixes on Wednesday. And then at 5, we got Lemonhead Penny. I tell you, that old lemon, I tell you. And then at 7, the Wright Channel, Joshua Wright. Can't wait for that. And then at 8, Chesapeake Coins. And then at 9, Robert Lawson, Errors and Varieties. I tell you, we got some great programming just today. But then, gang, we got tomorrow, too, at 12 Sunday. By the way, these are all Eastern Standard Time. At 12, we got Hoogie's Hobby Shop, which you don't want to miss. And then we've got CFA, Coins for Amateurs, at 2. At 3, the Dear Miss Beth will be on. Beth Coddington. And at 4, Coin Dragon, that guy. You guys know that card of a guy. And then at 5, Rob Stewart, which you don't want to miss. And then 7 o'clock, Tim Davis. Tim Davis's Variety Channel. And then at 8, Black Steel Reserve Coins. Coins versus Bullion. That is a dandy of a topic. And then at 9, that's right, it's SJ's Mixed Adventures, Coins for Kindness. And then that guy, yeah, that guy, he kind of pushed back the big show, half an hour. At 10 o'clock on Sunday, it's going to be the big show. Stuff that you guys just don't want to miss. I tell you what, a fabulous weekend it's looking up to be. And let me repeat myself. And again, I tell you, remember, Cointelligence will be on at 10 a.m. immediately following our segment. And anyway, gang, talk about giveaways. I tell you what, some channels will be doing their own giveaways. And our channel, this segment you're watching now, will be giving away that a little bit later on, towards the end of the stream. And but I tell you what, gang, there's also an opportunity for a chance at gold. That's right, the man said gold. Need I say it again? Gold. Each participating channel this weekend will be giving away a clue. That's right, a clue. Now, all of these clues will be needed for the riddle or puzzle, etc. for Ken's Monday live stream, when a 1/10 ounce of gold, $5 gold coin, graded MS70 will be given away. So that's right, pay attention. And the Reiser's Treasure Hunting Emporium clue will be presented towards the end of the stream sometime. So that's something to look forward to. In that oh my goodness, take a look at that gold. Anyway, I tell you, it doesn't have a nice luster. It doesn't have that just kind of, yeah. So anyway, gang. Now, for you folks who may be visiting Reiser's Treasure Hunting Emporium for the first time, welcome. And typically we have a weekly posting of a video plus a live stream every Tuesday at 7 p.m. And I tell you what, that live stream is something else. It's a great fun time with great people, and I guarantee it is far from usual. That's right, that's my own guarantee. It's not your usual live stream. But we got metal detecting, history, coins, treasure in the news, and I tell you, various topics you can anticipate amongst the silliness, shenanigans that goes on around here. And besides that, a weekly viewer appreciation giveaway. So do check that out. So anyway, gang, I am honored to be marshaling in the Coin Seminar weekend. And I tell you what, be sure and give the schedule a looking at, subscribe to the presenting channels, and remember to snick that bell to get your notifications when they go live. But I tell you, what a great event. I applaud Ken for putting this whole thing together. I tell you, he should be a union organizer. But anyway, now I saved a piece I've been working on and decided to use it for this event instead of our not-so-normal Tuesday night live stream. I think it befits this special occasion. So anyway, we're going to kind of jump right into it, and I'm going to try and catch up with chat just a little bit, and tell you, welcome anybody else who I happen to see. Hey, there's Al. How are you, Al? And hunting history. I don't know if I said to you before. Howdy. And see who else you got going on. And I am clueless, among other things. Well, not today. You will be gathering those clues there, Mike. And hey, Chris Hurley, good morning. And see who else we got going on. Hey, Coin Finders, how are you? Blockhead, he's going through Mantic Coins withdrawal. I hear that. And Liz, Digging Canuck, how are you? And I tell you, great. See, we got a lot of great people in this chat now. And I tell you, we got some great stuff going on. And hey, there's Jason. How are you, Jason? We'll just make it easy. Jason L. And there's Rochelle. Oh my goodness, I tell you, we've got some great folks on here, and nice to see you all. And good morning, good morning. Anyway, gang, money associated with the RMS Titanic disaster, and what's it worth? I tell you what, the Titanic disaster, it's a disaster like no other. The Titanic has found a place in popular culture unlike any other disaster. And in that aspect, it is very unique, if not odd. But nevertheless, the items associated with it are highly collectible and extremely valuable. And further, feverishly sought after. The RMS Titanic was a British passenger liner that sank in the North Atlantic Ocean in the early hours of April 15, 1912. It collided with an iceberg during its maiden voyage from Southampton to New York City. There was an estimated 2,224 passengers and crew on board. More than 1,500 people died, making it one of the deadliest commercial peacetime maritime disasters in modern history. The Titanic, the largest ship afloat at the time, and I tell you, it was the second of 3 Olympic-class ocean liners operated by the White Star Line. It was built by the Harland and Wolff shipyard in Belfast, Ireland. Now, the Titanic was captained by Captain Edward Smith, who, by the way, went down with the ship. And I tell you, the ocean liner carried some of the wealthiest people in the world, as well as hundreds of immigrants from Great Britain and Ireland, Scandinavia, and elsewhere throughout Europe. The first-class accommodations were designed to be the pinnacle of comfort and luxury. I tell you, some crazy stuff. There was an on-board gymnasium, which today doesn't seem to be that kind of special because most of your cruise liners have them now. But back then, a gym on a boat? No. But anyway, a gymnasium, a swimming pool, libraries, high-class restaurants, and opulent cabins. Although the Titanic had advanced safety features such as watertight compartments and remotely activated watertight doors, the Titanic only carried enough lifeboats for 1,178 people, about half of the people on board. After leaving Southampton on April 10, 1912, it stopped in Cherbourg, France, and then in Queenstown, Ireland, before heading west towards New York. On April 14th, 4 days into the transatlantic crossing, the Titanic hit an iceberg at 11:40 p.m. ship's time. The collision caused the hull plates to buckle inwards along her starboard side and opened 5 of her 16 watertight compartments. Now, she could only survive 4 of them flooding. Passengers and some crew members were evacuated in lifeboats, many of which were launched only partially loaded. At 2:20 a.m., just under 2 hours, the Titanic broke apart and foundered with well over 1,000 people still on board. The RMS Carpathia eventually arrived and brought on board 705 survivors. The disaster was met with worldwide shock and outrage at the tremendous loss of life and the regulatory and operational failures that led to it. Public inquiries in Britain and the U.S. led to major improvements in maritime safety. One of the most important was the establishment of the International Convention for the Safety of Life at Sea in 1914. It still governs maritime safety today. The wreck of the Titanic was discovered in 1985, and it is at a depth of 12,415 feet, a depth more than 2¼ miles down. That's right, that is deep. 2.25 miles down. Thousands of artifacts have been recovered and displayed at museums around the world, and we'll be taking a look at a couple. Of course, we got a couple little things here, and I tell you, it's become a part of mainstream culture through books, songs, films, exhibits, and memorials. And gang, let's chat a moment about her cargo. Although the Titanic was primarily a passenger liner, she also carried a substantial amount of cargo. Her designation, RMS, or Royal Mail Ship, indicated that she carried mail under contract with the Royal Mail. For the storage of letters, parcels, and specie, bullion, coins, and other valuables, 26,800 cubic feet of space in her holds were allocated. The Sea Post Office on G Deck was manned by 5 postal clerks, 3 Americans and 2 Britons, who worked 13 hours a day, 7 days a week, sorting up to 60,000 items daily. And the Titanic's passengers brought with them an immense amount of baggage. Cargo, now I'll tell you, cargo ranging from furniture to foodstuffs and a 1912 Renault Type CE Coupe de Ville motorcar. According to the claims for compensation filed with Commissioner Gilchrist, and after the conclusion of the Senate inquiry, the single most highly valued item of luggage or cargo was a large neoclassical oil painting entitled, here we go, here's Reiser's attempt at French, La Circassine au Bain by French artist Marie-Joseph Blondel. The painting's owner was Maurice Bornstrom Stephenson. He filed a claim for $100,000. And that's basically almost, actually, I think it's a little over now, $3 million in today's money. Well, anyway, gang, well, you can imagine with the high profile and limited accessibility of the ship, artifacts, including coins and currency associated with the Titanic, demand an extremely high premium. Even items that were not brought up from the great depths of the ocean, but merely associated with the disaster, demand extreme prices. Now, let me read some auction results of various items, non-coin related, just kind of normal stuff. Now, there was a these are auction prices, that's right, sold to the highest bidder. There was a violin said to be played while the ship was sinking. That went for $1.7 million. There's a survivor's letter that kind of notated the sinking. That was sold for $200,000. A deck chair, even this deck chair had kind of a limited amount of provenance. But nevertheless, this deck chair sold for $150,000. A Titanic lunch menu, that's right, just a lunch menu, was sold for $125,000. And a life jacket was sold for $55,000. And master keys, cabin master keys, sold for $138,000. So you guys can already tell this stuff is not cheap, and it is extremely expensive. And I tell you what, of course you guys know we will be moving right along, right into coins and currency related to this stuff, and you shouldn't be shocked now by some of the prices that will be talked about, because oh my goodness, the stuff that just brings this in. But anyway, gang, now that we have an idea of how items associated with the wreck and with proper provenance is key, let's take a look at a piece of currency and a coin relevant to the Titanic. And our first one up is going to be that guy and his dollar bill. Now, this is from 2012, and this is entitled Titanic Survivors Dollar Bill Certified. Yeah, gang, that's right, certified by PCGS Currency. And what you are looking at is an $18.99 $1 silver certificate. And here, we'll continue here in a second. Sip coffee. All right, gang, ready? Sip coffee. All in unison. Ready? Coffee now. Anyway, gang, the $18.99 $1 silver certificate is a survivor of the RMS Titanic had in his pocket a century ago when he was rescued from the Atlantic Ocean and then was later inscribed by him. And yeah, it has been certified by PCGS Currency. Just being able to handle this note that was carried by a survivor of the disaster through what must have been a terrifying circumstance was exciting as any moment in our company's history, said Laura A. Kessler, Vice President of PCGS Currency. Examining the note brought to mind how much significance was involved in its survival. It was literally history in our hands. The dollar bill was carried by 50-year-old August H. Weichman of Palmyra, New Jersey, a barber on the ship, who was helping crew members launch lifeboats from an upper deck when one of the ship's boilers exploded and he was blown into the water. Weichman survived and later wrote on the back of the dollar bill, "This note was in my pocket when picked up out of the sea by SS Carpathia from the wrecked SS Titanic." Actually, it's RMS, but April 15th, 1912. And then he went ahead and signed it. It was submitted to PCGS Currency by RR Auction Company of Amherst, New Hampshire, which is offering it in a public auction of Titanic-related items that closes on April 26, 2012. The note is circulated as expected, but its historical significance far outweighs its grade, Kessler explained. This is the first time any Titanic-related paper money has been independently certified by one of the third-party authentication services. Contemporary newspaper accounts captured the horror and drama of what happened when the Titanic struck an iceberg late on the night of April 14, 1912, and sank a few hours later in the dark on April 15th. Weichman was quoted in some of the stories and told how he survived. The Camden, New Jersey Daily Courier newspaper reported on April 20th, 1912, the barber stood with the rest of the brave men on the ship and expected to go down with the rest of them when the explosion threw him into the sea with scores of other men. A story in the April 19th, 1912 edition of the Camden Post-Telegram quoted Weichman on how he survived. "A bundle of deck chairs roped together was blown off the deck with me and struck my back, injuring my spine, but it served as a temporary raft. The water was too cold for me to swim, and I was hardly more than 100 feet away when the ship went down. The suction was not what one would expect and only rocked the water around me." The newspaper also reported that Weichman was one of those who heard the ship's string band playing "Nearer, My God, to Thee" a few moments before she went down. He was on the makeshift raft for 2 hours until he was rescued by the crew of the Carpathia. He told a U.S. Senate committee on April 24, 1912, "While on the chairs, I heard terrible groans and cries coming from the people in the water." Weichman died in November 1924. The note he carried and later inscribed was sold at a 1999 auction conducted by Butterfield and Butterfield. The PCGS currency holder reads FR 230 1889 $1 silver certificate, contemporary inscription from SS Titanic survivor August H. Vikman 41512. And of course, then it lists the serial number and plate. PCGS Currency is honored to authenticate and grade this piece of history, but even more important, we are delighted to be able to protect and preserve this note for future generations by sealing it in our fully inert and archivally safe holder. Whether it's a note from the Titanic, a Disney dollar, or a grand watermelon worth millions of dollars, there is no safer way to store any collectible note than in a PCGS currency holder, said PCGS President Jason W. Bradford. Since its founding in 2005, PCGS Currency has authenticated and graded more than 400,000 notes. Anyway, gang, how much did that banknote sell for? Well, I had to do a little bit of research because this article was written prior to the sale. Now, the final sale price for that auction for this $1 silver certificate was $39,402. That's right, gang. Let me tell you that again. $39,402. And if you want something to compare it to, you can get a similar grade to this note, what you see here. You know, it's not exactly mint. Okay, after all, it was probably in the Atlantic there for a little while. But anyway, you can get a similar grade note to this one for about $10. Stick it on the Titanic, and you've got, I tell you, you've got $39,000 more. But anyway, now if you wanted to get a similar note to this, as far as having a high grade example, it would cost you between about $250 and $300. So if that kind of gives you a little perspective as far as what the historical value behind this currency does. Oh my goodness. But anyway, gang, we've got another example, and this time we've got a coin. And quite sad about this coin, and but we'll get to that in a bit. What you're looking at is a 1906 $half from Titanic victim. That's right, this guy did not survive. Realizes $20,974. And gang, this was an online auction. A 1906 Barber silver $half recovered from a passenger who died in the Titanic sinking realized, again, the price, $20,974, including the 22.5% buyer's fee, in an online Titanic-themed auction by R&R Auction that closed April 24th, 2014. Englishman John W. Gill's body was recovered by the cable ship C.S. Mackay Bennett in the aftermath of the RMS Titanic sinking, and he was buried at sea. Numerous objects were recovered from his body and cataloged before being returned to his widow, including the silver coin, all of which were included in the inventory list prepared by the provincial coroner of Nova Scotia. There we go, gang. Provenance. The second-class passenger was traveling to America to create a new life and home for himself, his newlywed bride, Sarah, who had remained in England. When he died April 15, 1912, the 24-year-old carried $43 in U.S. paper money and $4.60 in U.S. coins, as well as smaller amounts of British currency and his 13-pound ticket for fare. John Gill was supposed to have been accompanied by his wife and father, but instead they decided to stay behind and complete business before joining him in America later in 1912. His wife, whom he had married 2 months before he died, fell into such a state of shock that she was unable or unwilling to speak for more than 20 years, according to the auction firm, citing multiple pieces of Titanic research. Gill was never able to bring herself to spend the recovered money and retained it with his other effects, including his pocket watch, keys, and ring. Everything remained with the family for 90 years. All possessions recovered from Gill were sold in a single lot at auction in April 2002 by Henry Aldridge and Son. This coin and others from Gill subsequently were sold individually in a 2012 auction, also by Aldridge. The coin is a heart-wrenching relic of a young couple's promising future shattered by the Titanic tragedy, says Bobby Livingston, vice president at R&R Auction in New Hampshire. The winning bidder in the weekend's auction was a currency collector from the Northeast, according to Livingston, who noted that the lot's consignor, Washington, D.C. lawyer Mark Zaid, said was thrilled with the price. No grade is identified for the coin, which had a starting bid of $500. Now, there you have it, gang. A 1906, half dollar from a Titanic victim sold for nearly $21,000. And just to kind of put that in perspective, roughly if you were to get a 1906 and MS63, you'd probably be looking to spend right around $1,500 bucks, roughly. Maybe a little less in today's market. But I tell you what, gang. But all this stuff is out there. It just has to be sorted out. And one thing that we kind of want to get around to. But anyway, I tell you what. There you go. You got two examples of coin and currency, artifacts, or treasure related to the Titanic. There are, of course, more. And I do see myself in the future compiling a log of recovered or associated coins and currency regarding the Titanic. Now, however, if you chose to memorialize the Titanic disaster in your collection, you don't have to spend thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars. You can just get yourself a nice grade of wheat, 1912 wheat, a 1912 V nickel, etc., and you're really not spending all that much money. I mean, a lot of people do that in their collections. They'll pick a year that's special or particular to them or a historical event, and I think even some people have packages where you can actually buy those coins related to that event or the year of that event. I was just kind of taking a peruse through. I mean, you can get, now I was only sticking with about MS60, and I'm going by some book values here, so imagine you can get this stuff cheaper. The book is a book, okay, but in day-to-day commerce, you can get stuff cheaper, but we're just going to use it as a reference. If you wanted a decent MS60 wheat set from 1912, you're looking about 35 bucks. A V nickel about 70. And again, like I said, these are all roughly MS60. A Barber dime is going to run you about $110, and a Barber quarter is going to be about $200, and a Barber half would be about $400. And again, like I said, they're all MS60. You can even go cheaper if you want a lower grade. And just with that, it'd run you roughly about $800 for a 1912 set of American coinage commemorating the Titanic. So you don't have to spend the $20,000 or anything like that for anything that's kind of crazy. You, in your own collection, can commemorate the disaster by putting yourself together a nice little set. And then after you do the American coins, guess what? Then you can move to the British coins and do this. Oh, I tell you, it could just get carried away. But $800, that's a whole lot better than spending $20 for one coin. But one thing, gang, I tell you, as captivating and thrilling of a topic this is, the drama or the human impact of this topic should not be neglected and or forgotten. And I think there's one particular artifact in particular that has a tremendous value in capturing the human struggle for life and subsequently the loss of it. This is what you're looking at. It is the RMS Titanic's whistle, or horn, laying on the ocean floor. There's another one. Now imagine, if you will, standing on that deck of that sinking ship that frosty April night. You've got noise and commotion of the crew and passengers. You have sirens. You have flares being shot off, and creaking of the structure, while being reminded of the severity of the situation by hearing the lapping of water against the ship and the small breaks of silence. And this whistle that you see here was recovered in 1993. And prior to its preservation, it was last heard by those who were personally involved in that struggle for life that early morning of April 15th, 1912. That whistle, blowing distress calls, could be interpreted as the ship's panicking cry was heard by the survivors and regrettably by the 1,500 who perished. It runs through my mind, what were they thinking? What was running through their minds when they heard that whistle? Anyway, gang, here we conclude our coin and currency segment. And we are going to eventually, in a few minutes here, nudge Rosie awake and have her select our winner for our Titanic coin. But anyway, gang, first up, we are just going to want to say one thing about the eventual gold coin giveaway presented in Ken's live stream of Monday. You ready? 1913. Anyway, gang, catch it. That's your clue. 1913. Anyway, gang, we are going to cruise on over to Rosie. And again, we're going to have her pick us a winner. And basically what you need to do is basically make sure you get something in the chat. If some of you guys want to flatter Rosie, that sometimes works. Sometimes it doesn't. And you just want to be sure, if you're lurking about, you want to have something in chat. And again, we are going to cruise on over there. And be sure, like I said, be sure you guys get something in the chat. And we are going to give away the Titanic round. And there we are. Oop, helps if I clicked on the right thing there. And we're going to let Rosie boot on up. Maybe. And we are going to search for... There you go. Yep, keep throwing stuff in chat. Rosie's starting to wake up. And she will go ahead and pick us a winner for the Titanic Copper Round. And so far she's only registering, I see, 17 eligible users, so be sure you get something in chat. And oh, there she goes. She's starting the tea break. Yeah, she was kind of busy. Turn up that voltage. There you go. $28. Oh, yep. She is waking up. All right, gang. Well, we will go ahead and get started. We're going to do a countdown from 5, and we're going to go ahead and see who Rosie selects. And whoever the winner is, be sure to send me an email to give me your address, and we'll get that out to you. But here we go. We're going to do it. Ready? Here we go. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, bang. Hey, congratulations, Leslie Cajun Digger. You just won yourself a 1-ounce copper round. And do send me an email, and we'll get that out to you. And I tell you what, gang. Guess what? This is just not your ordinary show. I do believe that we will give out, you ready for this? A second Titanic copper round. That's right. So if you didn't get it the first time, guess what, gang? We are going to go ahead and give out a second one. So do continue in chat, because guess what, gang? Here we go. We're going to do it again. So 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, bang. Well, congratulations, Ken. You just won yourself a copper round. Anyway, gang. Again, congrats, and there you have it. And hope you guys enjoyed the show. And don't forget, upcoming, we've got some great shows in store. Oh, wait a minute. It says, I am going to exempt myself from giveaways this weekend. All right, well, should we do it again? We'll do it again. Absolutely can. Here we go. All right, well, we'll do the countdown again, and we'll give it away. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hoogie's Hobby Shop. There you go. All right. Well, hey, congratulations, Digger. Congratulations, Hoogie. You got yourselves a 1-ounce Titanic copper round. And we're going to go ahead and get us back over to our normal screen. And we're back. But anyway, gang, I tell you, we've got some great stuff coming up. And gang, yes, do not forget your clues. Remember, I said mine earlier. And you have a shot at that. That's right, that $5 gold piece. MS-70. Wow, I tell you, what a great giveaway. And we got Cointelligence coming on right after this show at 10 o'clock, which you do not want to miss. And if you guys want to sneak peek again at the schedules, here we go. And I tell you, great stuff that you guys just don't want to miss out on. And I tell you, again, congratulations to both of our giveaway winners. And anyway, I'm going to try and catch up with chat. And let's see. Excuse me, sir. Did you dig the foreign coin picture? Yes, I did. Digging and watching at the same time here. Beto Pirate Girl. That is multitasking. That's some wonderful multitasking. And, oh, everybody was busy congratulating, and which is wonderful, wonderful, I tell you. But anyway, gang, hey, there's Mantic Coins. How are you guys? And anyway, like you see, you've got some great, great programming and content coming up. And you just don't want to miss it, I tell you. But anyway, gang, I hope to see you guys throughout the weekend. And I hope to see you this upcoming Tuesday at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for the weekly Reiser's Treasure Hunting Emporium's live stream. And there'll be a little bit more than this. You'll see stuff, you know, we have a coin can or a relic can. And yeah, we go on about the weekend recap as far as what's been coming out of the ground. And then we usually have treasure in the news. And of course, we always do a weekly giveaway. And I tell you, we've got some great, great stuff coming up. But anyway, gang, like I said, do be sure and check out the rest of the programming for the Coin Seminar weekend. That's right, today and tomorrow. And you will not be disappointed at all. Anyway, gang, that is all this old guy has got. So, yeah, gang, do get out there and find your treasure. And like I said, I'll catch you guys all around the different streams. And it'll be good to run into you. Anyway, gang, have a good day. And we'll catch you around on the tube.